Well, hello everybody. It's been a while since I've recorded a video on this project. This is the Heathkit TA17, and I've got quite a bit of things to talk to you about today about how this project is going. So first thing I want to start with, last time we left off, we had replaced these transistors, we'd replaced the capacitors, we replaced a number of other components on here. And we've also recently replaced these transistors. There's two diodes right here that have been replaced. But here's the problem. So let me put some light here. So after getting everything replaced and doing a test, first thing that happened was this capacitor exploded. I've obviously replaced it since then. Okay? And that, was disheartening, so I took a look at it, troubleshot it, replaced the capacitor. Then this resistor started to burn. You see it? So this resistor's in bad shape. That prompted me to realize something very, very important. And that is that I know how to follow a schematic, but I don't know how to read a schematic. And for me, it's been pretty interesting because, I thought that I was able to troubleshoot these things correctly, but I learned that I'm not able to. And that's a realization that some of us will come to when we do these kinds of things as a hobby, that we have to learn how to really troubleshoot. So I want to show you just where I am at the moment, and then we'll go through some of the things that I'm learning about how to troubleshoot this stuff. So, as you'll see here, to try to mitigate this problem, I've replaced all of these resistors and these capacitors and these transistors in the power section. Okay? Everything is new. So basically it's starting from scratch. After I did that, that's what this happened here. So I obviously have something that's not right. So I had to make a command decision on this, and then what is that going to be? So I've tried to test every component on the board. As you can see, the board, I'll pull back a little bit. The board's not that big. I've attempted to test every component on the board, and I can't find one that's bad. The only thing that I've got wacky here is, take a look at this thing. This is a light-sensitive resistor. I have no idea what it's there for. I don't know if it's supposed to have a cover. I don't know what it does. I don't know why it's in this amplifier. I'm trying to understand that. So if anybody out there knows what that is doing, please tell me. I can't imagine where light would come into play. It's basically a photosensor, but maybe I'm wrong. So anyway, I'm in the process of replacing all of these resistors. I'm testing each one as I take them out, because sometimes testing a component while it's in circuit can give you a poor reading. So luckily I have a very large inventory of parts, so I can afford to do this. But I'm going to rip everything out of this and just go start from scratch. So not the optimal way to troubleshoot, not the optimal way to restore, but for me, the optimal way to learn. So that's kind of where I am now. I'm in the process of removing these components and testing each one. So far, I've not found anything bad. And that's kind of where I am. So let's take a look at the schematic for a minute. All right, so we're looking at the schematic here. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on. So here's the 100 ohm resistor that was blown when we first got the unit, right? Here's the capacitor that blew up right here. You see it's a 100 microfarad 3 volt. And here's the 47 ohm resistor that I showed you is currently burnt in the chassis. And I've had problems with all of these components since I've been working on this radio. So we've got this capacitor, this resistor, and this resistor. Okay? So let's look at what's common. So we've got Q14, which is a 4410 driver. We've got a output transistor right here, Q16, comes up to another output transistor, comes back down to here. So what I think we have going on is that one of these transistors is staying latched open or shorted. And that's what's driving this to burn out here. And that's what's driving this to burn out here. Okay? Now, the interesting part is I've replaced all these. This has been changed, this has been changed, this has been changed, that's been changed. I've changed these diodes. These diodes were also bad. These diodes were bad. So what's really happening here is I've got either some kind of ground loop, I think, something shorted out to ground, or I've got some other problem in the rest of the schematic that I haven't been able to uncover yet. So that's really what I have going on. As I said at the top of the video, I'm not really sure how to read a schematic. I know how to follow one. I did ask help from someone that has a very popular YouTube channel what the issue could be. I can't tell you who it is because then everyone will want to get help, and this person did me a favor. And the person that I spoke to said that this is the culprit, Q16, which is the 2N3772 output driver. Unfortunately, I replaced it, and then this burnt out. Okay, so don't really know yet what exactly it is. I know by replacing the components that I said I'm going to replace, if I do have a bad component, it's going to be obvious to what the issue is. But I have to then look at the wiring here and understand what the wiring looks like. So, so that's kind of where I am with this thing. I'm going to take my time with it. I'm not going to do a step-by-step on this because I'm going to have to go through and look at every component, test it, make sure it's right, and then figure out what the problem may be. So I'll keep you updated on this, but that's where we are. So one other thing I want to show you before we wrap up, though. So I was able to get a hold of this book. This is the manual for the entire amp, right? It's very hard to get a hold of these things. And I've got all the parts here. This is the light-sensitive resistor I was telling you about. No idea what it does. No idea if it's supposed to have a cover on it. I don't really know what it does. So again, I'm looking for the detail on that. But I do know that in the book here, it talks about installing it, but it doesn't really tell any value. I don't know what value it is. I don't know, what exactly it's supposed to be. That's the part that's perplexing me at the moment, is what exactly does that darn thing do? So that's where I am. Like I said, if anybody has any information and knows what that thing is, please let me know. So that's kind of where we are at the moment with this thing, and we're going to press forward and keep going, and we're going to take our time. We're not going to rush. And we're going to make sure we get this thing fixed and up and running soon. So that's the story, guys. Thanks for watching. This is Ron. One last thing. This is the light-sensitive resistor. That's what it looks like in the diagram. You notice it doesn't mention any values. And then here it is on the circuit board. You'll see it's a square, which is interesting. Mine, you can actually see the bulb. So I'm wondering if there's a cover missing, and maybe that's why the amp doesn't work. I don't know. So I'm going to have to try to figure out that mystery. All right. Thanks again. This is Ron.